Hello friends, we are going to look at the Caribbean island of Trinidad. As I said, located in the Caribbean, tropical island. The place we're going to look at is called Tunapuna. It's a town within Trinidad, fairly popular. And you see where that park is? We're going to start there, Auzonville Park. I'm going to go to the main road. Going to look at some of the priority bus route and some of these areas, but mainly we'll stay with the main road. So this is Auzonville Park on the right, and that's Auzonville Mall on the left. And one thing that surprised me is how abandoned Auzonville Mall was. It used to be very popular, but after the pandemic it looks rather neglected. We're proceeding west on Sapodilla Street. Also Auzonville Park, look how much bushes growing there. A lot of vagrants and stuff. Everything looks neglected. I don't know why. We've gotten over the effects of the pandemic a while now, a few months. So everything should be returning to normal, especially things maintained by local government. Anybody in local government could come and respond to my videos and tell us why these things aren't being maintained. So we're heading to the Eastern Main Road now, and we will begin our walk through Tunapuna. Tunapuna is a town in the northeast of Trinidad. People will say it's more north of Trinidad than east. It is near St. Augustine and near places like Dorado, Tagarigo, and so forth. It's known a lot for its commerce, its shopping, the Tunapuna market. In the old days they used to have a cinema here, which we will see, called Palladium. And I used to live in the area at one point in time, so I'm very familiar with this area. Give you a more or less a rundown of the history of this area. That's Supertech on the left. When they started to be big, this was one of the second places to open, I believe, after Cuba. I used to design their website actually, but no affiliation. So that's Auzonville Mall again. Maybe a few shops going on. I don't know if the restaurant is still upstairs. We used to have a nice restaurant upstairs with really fancy furniture and stuff, but I don't know what's going on there now. Now I do have a drive-through of Tunapuna. One where I drive from Port of Spain to Tunapuna and drive around. And then in the video of Mount St. Benedict, at the end as a bonus, I drive through some parts of Tunapuna in the back. So if you're looking for other parts of Tunapuna that I won't cover today, you could look for them in my other videos. The main interest here is Tunapuna proper. Now this used to be Republic Bank, but it's abandoned now, and they've opened one big gigantic Republic Bank further up on the right. You'll see it later. That's a small Chinese restaurant, photo studio. That's a bank on the right. They have been here just a few years. Car park. One thing with Tunapuna is very much like St. James, lots of activity all the time, even at night. And if you're hearing a lot of background songs, car alarms and stuff, that's just because people in my area are noisy. Now that's the Tunapuna market on your right. I'll get a little closer to it later. Right now we're proceeding east on the Eastern Main Road. One of the tough things about here is the parking. You know, besides the car park that we just passed there, which is actually a new thing. When I was here, when I lived in here, I didn't have that there. This is St. Vincent Street, also a known street. That's Governor Plums being sold on the left. One of the tough things about here is the parking, and normally you would have to go up in one of the side streets to park. Some of these shops here have been here forever, selling clothes. That bar has been there forever. Of course, the market has been there forever. There were big fires here at one point. You see those little shops on, we just missed them on the right there. But those shops, that area, that whole area there by next to KFC was all burnt and built back up quickly. The thing I love about Tunapuna the most was the shopping. You get some good deals here. Clothes, shoes, haberdashery. The market has some really good deals. So that's the New Republic Bank. They did away with that. This road can take you all the way back to Mount St. Benedict if we follow it. That Tunapuna shopping center there on the right, that has been probably one of the longest established places here in Tunapuna. Also Midtown Pharmacy, another one that's been here forever. If any of these places are recognizable for you or you remember them, feel free to chime in the comments area of my YouTube channel. The Bombay store, that's another one's been here a long time as well. And of course across there on the street, CNI Sitaram Plaza, well that's almost like a landmark for Tunapuna. Been there a long time. Now that blue building across the street, that's the Tunapuna police station. And in this station I believe they also train young police officers who now joining the force, special reserve and stuff. They can stay there as well. But he's making a set a racket outside. I need to go and check whether or not. You can continue looking while I check it. That is the courts. There's also tax offices and other government services in there. I just got back from checking. I don't know. Right when I decided to do the voiceover for this video, Vasa decides to take the road outside. This abandoned building here, that also was Republic Bank. So it used to be Republic Bank East and West, and then they put it into one building. This is actually the library of Tunapuna. It used to be a different structure, but then they put this strange looking. I don't know what to call it. Almost the walls almost look like part of the roof. This road would take you into a place called Page. On the left, which you can't see, is I believe social services. Now this building on the right here, this 1-2 story building, is Tunapuna Plaza and is also an iconic landmark, but you'll notice it's only the lower portion is occupied. The other top ones aren't. I'm not sure if it was like that before the pandemic, but you know, the pandemic itself has disrupted a lot of business. We're continuing on Eastern Main Road. There are a lot of eating places, as you should have noticed. I'm going to pinpoint all of them, but they are wrong for any kind of taste you have, whether it's Chinese, Indian, junk food, whatever. And that's the thing with Trinidad too. Sometimes people open little shops where they also sell food. Most of the times those little shops, it's Creole food. It's a little preschool on the left. I think it's been there a while but changed different hands. You can still see some of the old structures here in Tunapuna. When I say old structures, old houses still with the colonial look. For instance, that house has the old colonial look, the old colonial windows. When we come back, we will go down to that street. Eastern Credit Union, Allen's Funeral Home. No affiliation to any of these, just pinpointing landmarks for you. This is the church, Roman Catholic Church. It has a shape like a ship in the front, at least that's how I see it. If you're hearing a vibration, by the way, that's because Wasa or whomever is seen about the road outside is using one of those machines that vibrates to compact the road. I have tried most of these restaurants at one time or the other, but when I used to be in this area, it was very long ago, and I really can't tell you or give any recommendations. Furniture Plus, that's a local furniture company. This building, I believe, is for national insurance. That supermarket there on the right has also been there forever. The layout has changed throughout the years, but its presence has been there for a long time. If you haven't been here for a while, I'm sure most things may be recognizable, but Because stores change over, they remodel the places, some things may not look familiar. But you can always tell me in the comments area of my YouTube channel for this video. Now where I'm pointing to, where the camera is pointing, that used to be a gas station. And it was very old, not maintained at all. Not sure if it was even working properly. I remember here used to be a big tire shop, Bix. Looks closed down now. Another Chinese restaurant. From my experience, from the time I used to be here to now, I've seen some things has stood the test of time, while others just didn't. And those that didn't, I'm actually surprised that they didn't. That Hosein's roti shop there has been there a while too. No affiliation to any of these business places. However, sometimes, a lot of the time when you're describing locations to people, instead of using exact addresses, they will quicker tell you, well, you know, when you pass Hosein's shop or when you pass the Chinese restaurant, that type of thing. So they, these buildings, especially if they've been there a while, end up being like landmarks. A lot of side streets in Tunapuna. A lot of them are very small too. When I used to live here, the biggest appeal to me, like I said earlier, was the proximity of being able to buy whatever you needed practically without having to drive. You could virtually walk. And there's the grocery, there's the pharmacy, there's the market, everything is right there together. You really didn't have to go far. That's what I really loved about Tunapuna. The downside is it does have a high crime rate. I believe recently it was going to be designated as a hotspot, I think, by the police. Personally, when I am walking through Tunapuna, and I don't feel that way. I didn't feel that way back then, and I don't feel that way now. I don't feel like, oh, I'm in this hotspot. However, you could be in precarious situations, for instance, being out here at night, being out here late, or being in a street or a dark area or around people that, look suspicious. Obviously, you're going to be implicating yourself in a situation that mightn't turn out well. But generally, I'm saying I never felt like, oh, I feel so unsafe being here in Tunapuna. So I guess this is the marker for where Tunapuna begins and ends. Therefore, I'm not going to go any further. The rest of the way would be another video, right? That intersection is also popular because it will take you back to the highway. One thing, that turban place there too is also popular, but I believe officially it's not in Tunapuna. There is an aspect of Tunapuna that can be a con more than a pro, the amount of traffic. A lot of traffic. Always, and that's because, like I said, it's busy like St. James. Always active. That big flag, the Trinidad and Tobago flag there, I believe that's the center of excellence. It's a place where they have shows, concerts, whatnot. And I think a football field somewhere around there too. So this is Marcy Stores, used to be called Hilo, another structure that has been in Tunapuna for a while. But for me, I never saw that particular Marcy frequented as much or as busy as much as Discount Mart or the other places. Now you see how it is right here? Very clear. One car passes, nobody walking around. For me, that's very unusual. And it shows again, even though we have passed the worst of the pandemic, things still need to be caught up. A lot of closed places, a lot of closed businesses. Normally, when I was living around here, there would be people up and down the streets buying. And that place opposite that's closed, there used to be a bakery and all. It looks like nothing's happening there. Nothing's happening on the left or the right, which is a shame. You know, things like horse signs where, you know, it comes to food, especially established places, franchises and so forth, those places endure through almost anything. But you know, if you're just solo and you're just selling your own stuff or whatever, it's sort of a risk. And like most places in Trinidad, they have the element of taking that time to take care of stuff. You know, see, like there's no pavement, proper pavement on the left there. The lamp posts are actually on the pavement. All these wires, these derelict buildings don't do anything to help, you know, the cosmetics of the area. This street actually used to be smaller. See, they've widened it a bit and paved it finally. Now, that's a recurring problem in most of the places that, if you notice, I visit. Garbage, pavement, sidewalk not taken care of, you know, cleanup necessary, and whatnot. But, you know, Tunapuna is not really designated as a tourist attraction, so if it isn't, if an area isn't or a place isn't, but you know, they're less likely to see about the cleanliness of it, the fixing of stuff with, but it shouldn't be. I mean, you know, as I understand, there's a local government there in charge of seeing about these things. But to me, there should also be better legislation and ensuring that owners of properties take care of their properties. You know, grass growing, rats running around, things like that just shouldn't happen. That's a church there, and usually churches take care of their own buildings. They more or less have to, based on what they are all about. And what about the people of Tunapuna? Well, Tunapuna is part of the north, right? So I'm kind of biased towards the people in the south being friendlier, and I always say the people in the north not as friendly. They're kind of more gruff. And I would say, for me personally, Tunapuna fits in that category. People more or less, you know, into whatever they're doing, their business and whatnot. They're not as welcoming or hospitable or anything like that. It's just a matter of, getting the stuff and get going. That's it. I mean, I'm not saying anybody will be rude to you or anybody will do something bad, but they're just not as welcoming as the people in the south. Of course, if you're from Tunapuna, you might like me to say that, but feel free to chime in and give your feelings in the comments area. That was the general feeling that I got here. Look at that house on the right. It's a colonial looking house. We'll come back and revisit it. This is Back Street here. And this will take us to a private school that would probably bring back a lot of memories for people. St. Charles. One reason it might bring back some memories is because a lot of the times if you couldn't get your child into a certain school or you're waiting a place in a certain school, sometimes people will bring their children here. This school is run by some nuns, Catholics, and it's used sort of I don't want to say an overspill, but let's say sometimes there isn't a place in secondary school. Sometimes children will be sent here until there is space. Or it may be that somebody's in the area and they simply want to bring their child here, for, rather than send them far. But that's St. Charles. So there's the colonial house I was talking about. More or less abandoned, but still, you can see what colonial houses used to look like, just like that. Just imagine that, but painted and nice, taken care of. That's how most of the houses used to be. Still built on the stilts. Now this strange looking place here is a tunnel. Overhead is the priority bus route. Gonna go up these steps, past all the trash, and we are going to take a look at it. We're facing east right now. Those are the maxi taxis, that's what they're called. And now we're facing west. And now we're facing north. Now we're facing south, and this is the Tunapuna Cemetary. The King Wasa contraption, trash there. Some of you, and usually those people, though, their comments never make it onto JB's Man Cave. It's almost like they get angry the fact that there's trash there and that I picked it up. Most people find that I should just focus on everything else and try to avoid trash, vagrants, derelict places and whatnot. In other words, just create this fantasy tourist video. Obviously those people just don't know what JB's Man Cave is about. I like keeping it real. If you want a tourist video or a brochure, I'm sure there are other people on YouTube or elsewhere that create those things. Feel free to look them up. But most people that like JB's Man Cave like it because it's real. They wanna, somebody from this area wants to see what the area looks like now. And even 10, 20 years from now, somebody will want to see how it was back then. And if I'm just showing you nice stuff and whatnot, that really doesn't tell you what the area is about. JB's Man Cave, you see the good, the bad, the ugly. Hopefully more good than everything else. So you got a bit of the priority bus route, the cemetery. Now they call that the Tunapuna Cemetery, but I don't know, for me, that's actually located in Paget. Show how the borders are. Excuse me. Or even Mokoya. Funny, the sign says no dumping. I can only imagine what under here is like at night. Surprisingly, the road is pretty good though. That's back street again. No, you know, I could have walked all those streets, but like I said, today is about keeping it on the main road mostly. Tunapuna proper. You know, if I go in all those little side streets, I would never finish these videos. And just keep in mind, I'm walking, holding this camera all this time. And you'll notice that I'm not cutting. So the length of the video is actually the length of time I'm walking. And usually if I do cut to something, it's because I either stop for a break. Sometimes one of my sons is with me, and you know, I gotta let him take a break, take a drink, whatever. But other than that, I just don't cut. Just keep on going, keep on walking. All for you to see what you see here on JB's Man Cave. So you can always show your appreciation simply by subscribing. It's free if you haven't subscribed before. If you have subscribed, please let others know about subscribing. That helps me a lot. The bigger the community grows, the better for everybody. Because as I see the channel grow, I want to create more videos for you. The other thing you can do is also like each video, and you can use the share links to share on Facebook or Instagram or whatever it is that you normally share. There's a link that you can use to share on those places. Now this, I'm kind of showing you the ground because this has always been kind of weird for me. The funeral home and the tire place that don't really have a sidewalk. And you can see here where I'm actually pushing between a car and the drain because there's no sidewalk there either. Now, why couldn't they have built something over that drain? Isn't that strange? Not really, because we're in Trinidad. That place on the left there, there used to be a furniture shop there. I'm seeing a security sign or what, I'm not sure, but they used to sell wooden furniture there. They still do. Roti shop, that's new. Bakery, that's new to me as well. And you can see just about every other place is some sort of food business. If you ever plan to open a business in Trinidad, like you're from abroad and you're thinking, oh, what can I do to make some money in Trinidad? For sure, you would make it with food. Most people in Trinidad just love their bellies. They just love it. They love food. Yep, that's me. Sometimes when I do that, I'm checking the camera, but I don't want to stop recording. And sometimes when I'm walking like this, people will hail me for both good and bad. Some people actually just don't like people recording. Those are few in number, but I don't know. To me, they're like the criminal element. The way they behave. What you recording? What you doing? What? Like what the heck? And you know the funny thing about this is people do this with their phones, all the time. Nobody says anything because there's really no way of telling whether the person is recording or not. This is a Hindu place of worship. This has also been here forever. The entrance, as you can see, is very unique, right up on the road. This road will take you to places that, well, more shops, a government place, as well as the Paget when you cross the priority. Let's take this road because it takes you to a church that has also been here for a while. I'd like you to see it. It'll also help you to get an idea of the residential aspects of Tunapuna. In my opinion, Tunapuna would be considered, I don't know, middle class area. Some parts lower middle class. Some of the older houses, the older residents have some nice houses, but a lot of it is dilapidated, not maintained. And I guess the constant commerce as well has a bit of an aggravation to how much people want to invest in beautifying their place, knowing that there might be a place of commerce next door, or noise or whatever. Like I said, as you can see, there isn't a lot of parking around, so people will use these side streets to park. That's a big problem in places like St. James, Woodbrook, and so forth, wherever they have lots of retail places, restaurants, and so forth. Finding a place to park is hard, so they tend to use the residential streets, which I'm sure for some of the residents around here they don't really like. When I did this video though, I was really happy that it was so clear. See how you can see those mountains in the back? If there was Sahara dust, that would have been like a haze. This is the church I was telling you about, and that church bell. For me, this has been here like forever. They've done work on it, of course. That's a more modern roof. And that place there was famous for its time too, but looks abandoned. So this is the Good Shepherd Anglican Church. If you attended here, does this bring back any memories? Feel free to talk about it in the comments area if you like. I'm not going to go up far into any of these streets, but I'm just giving you a glimpse of the houses. See, one or two are nice. But then, you know, like I said, next door to it, look at what you have. You know, just an open area, nothing going on, nothing kept. You know, that's the thing about Trinidad. You can have a well-established area, and then next it, boom, some sort of derelict place that just puts down the area. There should be some kind of mandate or law, you know, requiring the upkeep of your premises. I know there are things for like if you have bush growing and stuff that you have to maintain it. I see this more strictly kept in the states. In the states, especially some states within the United States, people can bring you up. The local government will come in and make a citation on your place if they see like, you know, weeds growing, grass growing high, not being kept, and they can fine you. Those things need to happen here so people are forced to maintain their place. Just, you know, they leave it anyhow. It just brings down everybody else's property value as well. What are your thoughts about that? Tell me in the comments area. That's a veterinary clinic on your right. For me, I don't remember seeing that, but you know, I don't have any pets to I don't believe in the concept of pets, so I don't carry any to any veterinary clinics. It's a mango tree. Don't know if you can see all the mangoes there. The law is here that, like it is in other places, most other places, is that if the fruit tree, in this case, is growing over on public space, then you can pick the fruit. But a lot of individuals, unscrupulous individuals, don't just do that. They jump in the person's yard and they climb a tree and then they pick the fruit. You just can't do that. Just growing in public space over the wall, sure. I guess you just had to walk with your rod. So we heading back to the western side of Tunapuna. You know, you can't visit Tunapuna and not see where the cinema used to be. You know, that's right, used to be, because it's not a cinema anymore. I believe it closed maybe 10 years ago. Yeah, around 10 maybe. Maybe a little more than that, not sure. On the left here is the fire station, and it's also a training area. Now they used to have a big tall 3-story building there that was sometimes set ablaze, and then the firemen were trained to put it out, but I noticed it's not there anymore. They broke it down. I don't know if the court places, because right next to the court building, I don't know if somebody complained or what, but very rare I might get a chance and I would see the policeman, the fireman training going up that structure. Do any of you remember that? Check this vehicle, nice tires. Look at the wreck of it. Wow. Crazy driving, look at that one. Can anybody live in these things? One thing I try to do with my videos too is to give you a feel of what Trinidad life is like. This is life in Trinidad, Caribbean life. I know you all who may not be familiar with the Caribbean would be so accustomed to seeing beach resorts with, coconut trees and somebody giving you a drink and stuff. But that's in Trinidad. That's actually a very very small percentage of what Trinidad is like. Maybe even less than 1%. That's to tell you. This is actually what Trinidad is like, and this is the cinema. Who remembers it from back in the day? Right now it's under some kind of renovation or construction. A lot of times churches take them over. So a school here, primary school, Tunapuna government. Maybe some of you also went there. That might bring back some memories. Ahead is Page. But I remember coming to the cinema to look at doubles. When I say doubles, two films. Usually have a feature film and then a film before the feature film. So usually when you came in a cinema in Trinidad, you would get two movies for under one ticket. Most of the time, eh? Unless it was a real blockbuster, then you would just get one movie and that's it. So we're back on the Eastern Main Road. And we're continuing. We came this way before, but we're going the other way. This is Rattan, they sell clothes there. Because going on the other side and looking in the opposite direction, you will see places that you haven't seen before. This place has been in construction forever. Even since I was here, they were constructing it, and they're still in the process. It's like an eternal building. I don't know. Never stops. Limes, lemons, being sold in a basket. This is the section here I was talking about earlier that burnt down. I think it was burnt twice actually. And one of the times I was actually there to see the fire. It was huge. The evening time, I think. Alright, let's walk past the Tunapuna market. I won't actually go inside the market, but I'll be around it. You might get a glimpse. This walkway here was redone, which is good. Kind of separates the road from where people are walking. So normally when it's a big market day, there would be vendors all on the outside here as well. That's the market there. The day I was here, it wasn't really a big market day, so there wasn't really nothing to show you. This big tree is like a landmark. See, a lot of the vendors not there, just a few. Some here on the outside selling fruits. And this is also the priority boss fruit. That's facing east. So when a lot of people drop in here, they will say they're dropping by the big tree. That's facing west. Down there would be St. Augustine. Around past where those green trees are. Right around there would also be, well past there would be the University of the West Indies campus. So we're heading back. All those little places on the right there have been there forever too. Just changing hands though. Oh, glad I'm looking at this way. Across there, that building with the orange roof, that used to be a cinema too. I think that was Monarch. They have shops in front of it now, but that where the shops are used to be a car park, which really to me was so small because it's a cinema. But I guess it was just for the people in the area because it was small, like I said, but used to be a cinema. I can't remember if I ever went there. But it closed a long time ago. Just showing you some of the vendors here who have stuff on the outside. Maybe you might catch a glimpse of some of the prices of goods. That's a TN-Tech truck. They say about the electricity. Those of you abroad, maybe that might bring back some memories because they have never changed their colors. Just giving you a view of the Tunapuna market. This is St. Vincent Street. It's also one of the popular streets in Tunapuna because besides being a residential area, it also carries a lot of shops, bars and food places that people frequent. And plus because it's right opposite the market, a lot of people use it for parking. But it has changed a bit. I mean, for instance, the houses on your right, you could tell they have been there forever. But that open place, that open parking lot on the left hasn't. So I'm going to go up here. I'm going to turn left. I'm going to visit a bakery that some of you may know. And people were nice enough to allow me to record some of the goods, so I might also bring back some memories for you all. And then we're gonna finish off by Auzonville Park. This little shop area too was very popular. Back in the day, an old Indian guy used to run it, sell, snacks, drinks, whatever. It's closed up now. Probably he's passed away because he was already old when I was in this area. So looks like they just paved this and painted this road though. Interesting. Right on the left there, I think this house was shown in either Beyond the Tape or Ian Allen or one of them as being a place where somebody was robbed, either robbed or robbed of their vehicle. I can't remember, but when I saw it, I recognized the place. So that's to show you, you have to be careful. There's also been incidents in this corner right here where people were linemen and they were shot. Now you see that house across there, Ali and Son? Right downstairs there, they do auto electrical stuff, and they are also very popular. On the right here used to be a pan yard, but I noticed they turned it into fixing, well, I shouldn't say fixing, doing car washing and stuff. So in that way Tunapuna changes. This is the more residential side of Tunapuna. I would say slightly quieter on this section. Not too much commerce. Except for maybe this bakery that we're going into. I'll let you hear what we say as we talk. Recognize any of those delicious delights? Sponge bread, rolls, buns, tarts, biscuits, turnovers, currants roll, and that one there with the red and the currants. I think they call it a Douglas roll because of the combination.
Right. Okay, thanks, sir.
Let's get some of the advertisement.
So we are making our way to the end of this journey, and we'll finish off by Auzonville Park, which is not too far from here. This is more or less a residential side of Tunapuna, a quiet section. How did you like the walkthrough today? If you have never seen Tunapuna before, then that is Tunapuna. If you used to live around here before, tell me if it brings back memories or what. Let people know about these videos so that they can get a chance to see the areas they used to live. It would be very much appreciated. Up on those mountains there, that's Mount St. Benedict. That's to tell you how close we are to it. You can see it there. And I do have a video, a walkthrough covering all of that, so make sure to also look for that. This is Auzonville Park coming up here on the left. Like I said, they used to have actually a gate here. I don't know what happened to the gate. They opened it up, I guess, for people to drive in, but I'm not sure why. It's just a shame. I used to bring my son here, one of my sons, to play here. He used to like to play here. It's where we got the Mountain of Sand blog. Anyway, thanks so much for watching. Make sure to like, subscribe for free, and share with your friends.